All right, y'all, what's going on? Happy Sunday. It's D-Day for med students everywhere. Senior med students, I guess. Oh, shit. The nerves are running high. So for those of you who don't know what I mean, it's match week. So tomorrow, med students find out if they matched and when. So when I say matched, it means basically they find out where they're going for residency. But they don't find out where until, what, Thursday? Wednesday? Thursday? Something like that. Later this week. Because the match is a monopoly, and it's a total screw job. But in any event, they figure out if they have a job tomorrow. And if they don't have a job, they have to stress the hell out and try to get one real quick. So good luck to all of you out there. We can talk about that a little more later. But yeah, hey, I'm here. Hi, guys. Better late than never, right? Had some issues putting the kids down. My oldest one's getting, it's tougher and tougher to make the 8 o'clock time, because my oldest is, you know, just growing up, and he can stay up later. But we try to keep him going to sleep early, because it makes our lives so much better when we have a little free time at the end of the day. So, well, hopefully you guys have had a good weekend. I have had a fucking phenomenal weekend, because it is beautiful here in Kansas City, man. That is really nice. So, we've been out. I'm teaching my kid how to, like, play football, basically, and baseball. He's, like, very athletic, but doesn't know how to play sports, basically. Like, when we take him rock climbing, he's pound for pound, like, one of the strongest people there. I mean, he'll, like, hang on the wall with one hand and just, like, look around like it's no big deal. He is a freaking brick of muscle, but he just needs to know how to use it. So we're working on that. We're working on that. Playing catch and doing all the dad stuff, you know? Teaching him how to do all that, which is fun. That's really fun. Happy daylight savings, yeah. Yeah, just casually lose an hour of sleep. Isn't that awesome? Yeah, he is doing well. He's doing really well. He's used to being good at everything he does, though. So we're trying to play. He's on a little baseball team, and it's not a serious thing at all, you know, like, it's just getting the kids out there to run around. But like, he's very frustrated that he's not good at, like, catching with a glove or good at hitting a baseball. Hey, Matt, what's up, dude? How are you guys doing tonight? Hopefully life is good. Bugs Bunny. He's chewing a carrot. You can't see it because it's online. He's actually, like, angrily munching a carrot. You can imagine it? Yeah, yep. You got the image. The Egyptian dude just, like, powering through that thing. And it's got the, like, the greens on the end of it too, right? Somewhere there's an angry hunter with a speech impediment who can barely use a shotgun running around. I'm truly munching down on a carrot. I hope you are. I hope so. Good times. That Black Bugs Bunny meme. Oh no. This stream's already taking a turn. Alright guys, well, thanks for showing up. It's been a great stream. I'll see you on Wednesday. I'm done. See you later. It's been real. It's been real. Well, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Like, if you go back and watch those, like, especially some of the older Looney Tunes, like the ones from, like, the 30s and 40s, they are pretty bad. They are pretty bad. Like, they are very racist. It's crazy. It is unhinged. It's crazy to watch those things. Like, the, one thing that I had totally forgotten about, a movie I'd completely forgotten about, is Song of the South. Have you guys ever seen that? It's the movie that Zippity Doo Dah's from. But and it's a Disney movie, but they have like scrubbed it, basically. Like that movie is very hard to find. It's not on, or well, I looked on streaming and it wasn't there. Like Disney, what is it? Disney Plus? Yeah, Disney Plus. It's not there. They have made that very, very difficult to find for kind of obvious reasons, because it is super duper racist. You never heard of it? Yeah, Song of the South. Let's see if we can. The internet knows. It's kind of this weird like hybrid of cartoon and live action. Yeah, so like this is the main character. Like this image really tells you pretty much everything you need to know about the movie, honestly. Like I mean, just like put this into a script instead of an image. That's the movie. Uncle Remus. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But yeah, if you can, it's worth, I mean, it's just like, you know, this weird piece of Americana. You know, if you can find it, it's worth an hour and a half to watch, I think. It's just like goofy shit that these days would just like instantly get banned. This shit has been canceled hard. So yeah, if you want a very cringeworthy trip back to the 40s, please give this a shot. Yeah, there's lots of, you know, Looney Tunes things where there's, like, depictions of black people that are, like, extremely unflattering. Just blatant racism. In your cringe collection of content. Well, everybody's gotta have that. Mine, so the crowning jewel in my cringe content, have you guys ever seen this movie? Geely. This is like, I would say this is hands down the worst movie I've ever seen. This is an absolutely fucking terrible movie. I think it's like, to some degree supposed to be bad. Like it's supposed to be kind of hokey, but it is just terrible. Like it's not even like good at being like quirky. It's just like super awkward and poorly acted. And I had a friend, and every year on a certain date, I can't remember what date that was, we would just like get shit-faced and watch Geely. I mean, it's like Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez at their absolute rock bottom in terms of like performance. It's so bad. Bugs called Donald sexist, racist, psychopath? Really? How recently were they making Looney Tunes? Didn't they stop making Looney Tunes in like the 60s or something? Revival in the late 70s. New shorts 2014. Interesting. Okay. Didn't J-Lo star in another really bad movie? I'm sure she did. Like, she's not exactly the most talented actress in the world, right? Which movie was good exactly? Oh, you know what? Actually, so I can think of one J-Lo movie that was pretty good. I can't think of the name, unfortunately, so we're gonna look it up. But it was about the like brothel in, I think, in New York. Oh, why did I just Google Jennifer? I just seriously just Googled Jennifer. What the fuck is wrong with me? It's like a brothel in New York that like extorted a bunch of people. I can't remember what the name of the movie was. That was actually pretty good. Hustlers. That was pretty decent. I mean, it's not, you know, it's not the best movie in the world, but it's all right. It's made much more interesting by the story itself. Honestly, it was like these girls just systematically extorted hundreds of thousands of dollars from a bunch of like whales who came into this like high-profile strip club. Basically, was Will Smith in this? I don't think so. Julia Stiles, Lizzo. Yeah, Lizzo and Cardi B are in it, which is hilarious. But yeah, that's, you know, I wouldn't go out of your way to see it, but it's there. Yeah, Lizzo and Cardi B are, not shockingly, both strippers in the movie. Hollywood is very weird. It is a strange world. No question. Yeah, it's very, like, inbred, too. Like, you know, the celebrities always, like, date celebrities. It's kind of strange. I mean, I guess it's just, like, who you run with, but still. You can't pinpoint what she looks like? Really? That's what she looks like. She looks a lot like this. Like this picture of her. Started being active in 1986, huh? Let's see, spouses. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright then. Damn, 4 marriages. That sounds fucking stressful. No thanks. This poor guy. He was like the starter husband. Like, I've never heard this name in my life. It's just some random dude. And she's like, okay, now I kind of know what I'm doing. And then I guess she was still getting up to speed with Chris Judd. And then Mark Anthony, she's like, okay, yeah, we can hang here. Ben Affleck. TBD, right? Man. I wish I was worth 80 million records sold. Dear Christ. Wow. That's a lot. Yeah, so I want to be rich, but being famous would suck ass. That would be terrible, man. Like, having people, like, constantly hounding you and fucking with you and stuff, taking pictures of you wherever you go. Like, if you do something awkward, like, you know, pick your nose or fall, like, trip on the curb or something, like, somebody captures it. There's just, like, pictures of your embarrassing moments or, like, awkward faces everywhere. Being well known is overrated. Yeah, 100%. I think it's nothing but a bad thing, personally. I mean, you can leverage it pretty well. Like, look at, which Jenner is it? Is it Kylie Jenner that has all of the, like, beauty lines and stuff? All the, like, cosmetic lines? You know, I've heard many times about, like, what a tenacious businesswoman she is. Like, yeah, no, she kind of has a team of people around her that trade on her name and make her business go. Yeah, she has nothing to do with that, I guarantee it. Kylie Jenner ain't making no billion-dollar business on her own. Super stressful to live off people's constant opinions? 100%, dude. Yeah, 100%. I, like, knowing what I know about people who are, like, digital media personalities, like people who stream professionally and, you know, for their income, That is a terrible way to be. Just like constantly trading on trends and depending on other people to like you and throw money at you. I don't have time for that. Sounds awful. Ooh, Lottery Highlands. Oh, you know what? I forgot what I was doing. I want this. Boop. Famous in a niche and it was anxiety inducing? Oh no. You're the best underwater basket weaver in the whole world? You know, some of the things that I really enjoy reading the Guinness Book of World Records because of all the weird shit that people think of doing and submitting as something that's worthy of having a record. Like, yeah, man, I juggled 18 plates while running a marathon. I am the fastest 18-plate juggler marathon runner in the whole world. Like, okay. What? Why? Why did you do that? Like, you thought that that was worth devoting, you know, hours and hours and hours of your life to? And alright. I mean, cool. Or like these people that, so I, I saw this the other day. This came across on, oh, what was it? I think it was actually a YouTube thing. Like, hey, you might like this because YouTube is way too smart for its own good and knows me extremely well. It was like the Guinness Book, Rubik's Cube completion. And it's just this like little Asian kid sitting there and he's blindfolded and they start a timer and he just like picks up the Rubik's Cube and kind of goes like this and he's like looking at it, turning it all around, like doesn't do anything with it. He's not trying to solve it, but he's just like turning it around, looking at it. And then he just starts, like goes, oh, it's a blind Rubik's Cube. So he like gets a second to study it and they put a blindfold back on him. It's the world record fastest blind Rubik's Cube. So he looks at the Rubik's Cube for like, you know, X amount of time and then just does it. Here, I'm gonna look it up because I remember being very impressed by it. Let me get through this area. 5K followers on TikToks within MedTalk? What? Look at you. I'm honored to be in your presence, Medfluencer. Congratulations on your rampant success. Rubik's Cube speed stuff is dope, right? Right? This is an awesome set, by the way. If anybody enjoys electronic music, I really don't like Above and Beyond very much, but this set is freaking great. So I would check that out. You shouldn't, I was a Kremlin. Yeah, this is the one I was watching. Oh, I guess it's 4 years old though, huh? I mean, look at this. What the fuck? Just memorizes the Rubik's Cube. And just does it blind. Oh my god. How do you do that? How do you do that shit? That's ridiculous. And like, I stopped that at 34 seconds. So like, he actually solved that Rubik's Cube in like 15, 20 seconds. Blind. Isn't that cool? Yeah, that got served to me on my on my YouTube, you know, watch this thing. Things you might like, or whatever the hell it's called. And they were right. I liked that. So much that I shared it with you guys. Usually it's like this weird combo of, well here, let's see what's on here right now. Because, like, my son watches a bunch of, like, obscure Minecraft shit. Like, he's asking for, like, these really complex, like, programming commands. And then my daughter's watching, like, Miss Rachel and all this, like, absolutely asinine nonsense. Oh god, I'm sorry. Woof. That was very loud. Apologies. Let's see. View my channel. Nope, that's not the one I want. We'll go to that one, because that's the one we use here. Yeah, so here we go. So there's Last Epoch stuff, something about nuclear fusion. My kid's obsessed with the Titanic right now for some reason. What's stopping us from building a warp drive? A D&D episode. Minecraft. I mean, this is just like all over the freaking place. Of course, Asmongold sneaks in here somehow too. Then there's a bunch of weird shorts. How to dress to attract a man. YouTube sees me. They see me. Just act like that doesn't exist. RIP account. Yeah, absolutely. The YouTube is so confused right now, and yet they're still scoring points somehow. At least I got the color right. Totally. What's up, Falcon? How's it going? Long time no see, man. How's life? Are y'all at the point where the new AA students are coming through? Or wait, are you at a learning institution? I can't remember. Brain no work these days. But yeah, I'm gonna be polluted with all sorts of like weird child nonsense for the rest of time on my my search feeds. Algorithm thinks I'm a public library. I mean, I pretty much am. Not related to medicine. Oh, okay, cool. Well, welcome. Welcome, welcome. I thought you were from a Discord server that's like anesthesia assistance. So I guess I'm wrong. Never mind. It must be somebody else. Well, how's it going? But yeah, my kid will ask about like, why does a drop of water evaporate? And I'm like, well, son, let's talk about that, shall we? Let's discuss why things evaporate. Because in case you guys didn't know, I have a degree in astrophysics as well as all the doctor stuff. And so how things work is like right up my alley. Love it. Love everything about that. Is my son a savant? He's trying to be. Not pathologically, I don't believe. But he's a weird kid. No doubt. Pretty strange kid. But the problem is I lean into that. Like I said, I'm like, hey, well, let's... Like, he asked, how you get things... He was like, how do you get something into space if there's not a rocket? So I was like, well, we're gonna watch YouTube videos about railguns and about low Earth orbit projectiles and stuff like that. So he doesn't ask a question unless he's really interested, because he knows he's gonna watch like some weird informative thing about it. And he just watched a Kurzgesagt video about what happens if the moon collides with the Earth. What's up? Oh, great. Well, he tried to claw me, so. Yep. There were 2 things left last night, and there was 1 left now, right? I'm a weird adult, so I understand. You also watch that video? It's a good video, right? I like that channel, actually. I like that channel a lot. Oh, wow. Got a lot of points that I need to figure out here. Let's see. Damage bonus per second. Yeah, definitely don't want the no longer moves you. That's like the whole freaking point of this. Shadow Falcon on kill. Hmm. That sounds cool. Let's give that a shot. Feeds into curiosity, kind of great for a kid. Yeah, yes. Yeah, I definitely am all about, you know, him figuring out things, like, everything. Because he asks a lot of good questions, stuff that I don't know the answer to, and I'm like, well, let's figure it out. So we really went down that rabbit hole with his Pinewood Derby car for scouts. Is anybody scout? I don't know. I knew nothing. I wasn't a scout. I knew nothing about this. But apparently, this is a big deal. And lots of people get real butthurt if they don't win. And they also put a shitload of time and money into these little cars. I'll show you if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, this Pinewood Derby, not the Pinewood Debris. So they're just these, like, when you buy the kit, it's just this, like, it's this. Here, oh, damn it. It's just a little block of wood with 2 slits carved in it. You did Pinewood Derby with your church? Okay. But yeah, people get, like, super pro about this. And there's tons of information online about it, like, you know, how to maximize speed, and people do some insane shit here, like they're machining these wheels down, and like you have to sand, or I guess file is the right word. There's like the nails have these like little flanges on them that hold them when you nail them in, because they're just normal nails. So you have to sand those down, you have to file those down, and then sand the nail and polish it so that the wheels roll most efficiently. And there's like certain weights that you can get, and like you have to alter the weight distribution of these cars. I mean, people get super pro about it. And fortunately, my father-in-law actually did most of this, but I was kind of watching some of the, you know, information that he was sifting through, and I was like, damn, this is a lot of freaking effort for, you know, this little car thing that a bunch of 7-year-olds are racing. Like, what the fuck are we doing? But yeah, I mean, people get very serious about it. Alright, where are these points gonna go? Cracked open a pencil to lubricate the wheels. I have a tube of graphite lube in my dining room right now. Yep, sure do. I have that. Yeah, I think it was somewhat of a redemption arc for my father-in-law, actually. Like, I think he sort of felt like he kind of showed up and just, like, you know, didn't give it the attention that it deserved when he was a kid. And now he was like, I'm gonna fucking bash these 7-year-olds' faces in with my car. And my son got to, like, sand it and, you know, like, paint some stuff and glue a couple things in. But the real dirty work was, you know, my father-in-law did, like, most of it. So he was like, this is not an event for 7-year-olds. When you're about to drop out of med school, I didn't know that. Why and what brought you back? Consider doing engineering instead? Yeah, so I thought I wasn't going to get into med school, and I was going to use my physics degree to go, like, do consulting and crunch numbers for businesses. And I was looking at that, and I was like, damn, I could make 6 figures straight out of college doing this. And that was in 2003. So who knows what that's, you know, probably like 50% more than that now. Let's see, slow enemies each second. That seems worth a point. That's probably what I want to do with the points, I think, actually. Monkey Buckets, what's up, man? Thank you. Thank you for following. Hopefully you're enjoying the randomness of this stream. I've talked about absolutely none of the things that are in my title so far. But that's okay. That's kind of what you get while you're here. You're failing 2 classes? Oh no. Let me see if I can fix this ADHD problem. No, I'm on a lot of Rerolling. Fair enough. Gotta do what you gotta do, man. All good. Oh, I guess I need to get up to this at some point. Shit. So I actually need to respec a point out of this. Take increased damage. That's, like, really good for me. This will poison stuff, so I'll be able to use that. Yeah, we'll just take that out. Stop respecking. B student consistently into M1 year, then you failed 7 exams in a row? Jesus Christ, dude. That sucks. Sorry to hear that. That's, I'm sure that took a pretty huge mental toll on you, too. It's tough to, I guess rally from that is what I'm looking for. Sort of an ego blow, right? Alright, Julra. Ah! Hit the wrong button. Alright. I have no mana. Need to refresh my mana. Oh my god. Woo! Keep hitting the wrong key. that's not gonna work out well in the long run. There we go. Eat that, Julra. Is on hit, rejuvenating opal ring. Nope, don't care. Then took step 1 without using any dedicated, so it worked out? Okay, cool. Let's see. I want to go here. And then we're gonna put that in there and that in there. Or not? That just eat my items? Oh, no, I just dropped them on the ground. Okay. Alright. So we want fizz damage and bleed. Fire is a total blank, slow is mediocre, but okay. Okay, I'll take the increased fizz, that's fine. Not perfect, but it'll work. Found a puppy sleeping on a banana. Well, post that shit. Share with the crowd, please. You can't just tease us like that. That is not cool. There you go. It's a puppy sleeping on a banana. There you have it, folks. That's quality entertainment right there. With some cheddar on the side, really? Oh yeah, there's some cheddar over there. Is that cheddar or is that like a Lego or something? It looks like there's like some texture to it on the back. Or maybe just like oddly shaven cheddar. I think I'm putting a little too much thought into that picture. So, I'm gonna quit that idle and be on my merry way. Yeah, okay, moving on. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it so much. Well, speaking of the things that I was gonna talk about tonight, how are people who are matching doing? Hopefully, I know a few people who frequent this stream are, you know, under that gun right at the moment. Almost. Need one more point to really make this build kick. Yeah, hopefully everybody's feeling good. It's kind of a shitty time. The match is really stressful. I remember that. Like, I personally was not real stressed because, like, my scores were pretty well above average for anesthesia at the time. I mean, now anesthesia is like a freaking, like, one of the most competitive specialties, it seems like, but at the time it was kind of low end of middle of the road, maybe? And interviewing was a lot different. You know, interviewing, you showed up and, like, did your interview. It was a normal interview. None of this, like, Zoom nonsense where everybody interviews at, like, 50 different places. So, I think, I've forgotten what the exact stats were, but it was like if you had more than 7 interviews, you had, like, a 98-point-something% chance of matching somewhere. And I had, like, 16 interviews that I went on, I think. I got lucky and could, like, group them by location pretty effectively. So yeah, I personally was not worried, but lots of my classmates, especially the ones like trying to match something really competitive, were like stressing out. And with good reason. With good reason. Oh, I totally forgot to use... I am not using Smoke Bomb, like, at all. I'm doing a very bad job of managing this build. Still kind of learning it, though. Slow stacks. One area. Do I want to leap to a target? Delegates meeting in Chicago and gonna vomit? None of the program directors were there. Aranis, what's up, man? How are you? Hopkins, Harvard, and Cornell, and your shitting bricks. Fair enough. That is a fairly star-studded lineup, no doubt. All your friends that are waiting for match are anxiously anticipating results. It's such crap the way they do you for that. I mean, trying to pass this block. What block is that? Yeah, I mean, the match, like, this is computer-based stuff, right? Like, everybody submits their rank list, and the programs submit their rank list, and you just jam it into a computer. They probably have these results in, like, a day at the most. It's probably more like, you know, 10 minutes. Well, you would think that they'd have a better system, except the, like, ERAS and the NRMP, it's a monopoly. It's a complete monopoly, so they have no motivation to change, really. Like, I sort of understand the SOAP system. Like, really, in my opinion, the SOAP system is the thing that makes the most sense. So for anybody who doesn't know, we're gonna start from the ground up. So when you are in med school, your 4th year of med, and this sounds completely insane to everybody who is not involved in medicine. So, like, because this is not how shit should work. So when you're a senior med student, you apply to a whole bunch of, like, residency programs. So, like, training, they're specialty training programs. So you apply to these programs, they interview you, and then you rank all of the places that you interviewed. The places rank all of the people that they interviewed. And then they throw all those things into a computer algorithm, and it spits out a binding contract where you're gonna go. So you can't, like, negotiate with these places. You can't, you know, take another offer. You get one shot, assuming you match. You get one shot, and that's your offer. So if you say no, then you don't go anywhere. You don't have a job. But then people who don't match into their specialty, they call it matching. People who don't match go into a program called the SOAP, which is, I've forgotten what it stands for, but basically all of the programs, the like training programs that didn't fill up, and all of the applicants who didn't match go through that process again in a sort of like expedited fashion to try to match up everybody and get all of the med student, graduates a job. Supplemental offer and acceptance program, is that it? Okay. But yeah, it's basically you just do the match again, except for, with fewer people and fewer programs. So that is run over like 2 days, which makes way more sense because everybody submitted their like rank listings, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Takes away your ability to negotiate. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and residencies don't have to compete. Exactly right. Yeah, it's a complete bullshit system. It's terrible. It's very clunky, it's archaic, and it's a monopoly. But, oh well. It'll probably never change because there's like literally billions of dollars. It's healthcare, right? There's literally billions of dollars of labor at stake in this, which sounds insane to say, right? But that's true. Like, residents are the producers in major medical centers. So those folks aren't giving up their cheap labor very easily. Promise you that. Program that had 8 residents and lost their residents. They had to spend 1.6 mil, to replace them. I'm surprised it wasn't more than that, honestly. Bread and butter anesthetics. So I would say propofol, fentanyl, Versed, midazolam. And then, to the maintenance gases are sevoflurane, isoflurane, desflurane, but sevo is the most common and most widely used. Yeah, ketamine? Dude, I love me some ketamine, but it's not used as commonly. But yeah, so let's do a quick exercise here. So you say 8 residents, so let's do anesthesia. And this is actually the most extreme example because the nurse equivalent or the mid-level equivalent of anesthesia is the most expensive. Good gosh darn, what's up, man? Yeah, benzos, the midazolam's awesome. Most patients who are even a little nervous get it before surgery just so they chill out and don't remember anything. We love ketamine. Yeah, it is amazing. It's a great drug. And all of the recent evidence for, mental health issues that ketamine, low dose ketamine is turning out to be pretty freaking useful, man. It seems like a very solid drug, which I think is really cool. Anyway, so we'll be generous and say that I worked 60-hour weeks in residency, which is not true. It was probably upper 60s. But just for the sake of math, we'll say 60 hours, right? You know how people are depressed, give them more tranquilizer, totally. But yeah, so a CRNA these days makes, in this area, $230,000. So we'll round down to 200, just because, again, math. So if they work a 40-hour week, then 60 hours would cost $300,000, right? And in reality, it's actually more than that because work doesn't scale directly, right? So if I were to work twice as much, I would want more than twice the pay, because that would be terrible. Anyway, so 300 G's, right? When I was a resident, I made 50. And that's just pay. That doesn't include retirement, benefits, all that stuff. I think a resident costs a hospital $80,000, basically, including benefits and all of the stuff. So, yeah. and I would say that generally residents are much more productive than their equivalent mid-level providers. during those hours. So like 1 hour of each is not equivalent. So yeah, hospitals are, they're doing pretty good. Doing pretty good with this whole residency thing. At what year is an anesthesiologist ahead of a nurse anesthetist or a anesthesiologist assistant? It's a good question. I would say if you're talking an experienced anesthetist, say 5+ years in the game, I would say late second year of residency is probably where they're like functionally ahead of that. So out of a 4-year residency, kind of like halfway through-ish. Oh, I see what you mean. Like where does it shake out in the math? Well, we can use my numbers. Let's find out. How do we do that? How do I do that without doxing the living shit out of myself? Well, we could do some really basic math. So, I've figured it out, and my loans will cost me about $800,000, including interest, by the end of it. So, we'll figure that. So when you're, we'll do like current. This is gonna be very like napkin mathy and not precise at all. But so we'll say, we'll say I made 50 grand per year in residency. It was 42 for something like that for most of it. So over 4 years, that's $200,000, right? And we'll just do this after. We'll say 10 years. What's a good way to do this? Why do we say 15 years after college? So the first 4 years are med school, right? So you make no money then. So residency, you make 200 grand. So you got 11 years left, right? But your education, or my education, cost me 800 grand. And then after that, we start making 550. This is also a gross simplification because I did not make this much my first couple of years. Times, whoops. So how many years of 550 would it be? 11. So, or no, it'd be 7, right? So 7 times 550 minus 600,000, right? So 3.2 mil. So if you take, and this doesn't account for like retirement building up, it doesn't account for investment growth or any of that. So this is all sort of bullshit numbers, but we'll figure it out. So an anesthetist, we'll say they take 3 years. So their schooling, we'll say costs $100,000. So we'll just subtract that at the end. So that's 3 years. And then they have 12 years of making 230. Right. So that's 2.6 million. So probably in the 13-ish year range after college. Something like that. So what would that be, like basically as old as I am now, late 30s, something like that. So I missed all of chat there. I make less than no money, you go into 200k of debt that costs 800k at the end, right? Yeah, pretty much. Is that math right? Yeah, it's pretty sloppy. The math is very sloppy, but it's close. It's pretty close. And again, that doesn't include all of the like retirement bonuses and, you know, investment in the market and stuff that the anesthetist would get while the anesthesiologist is training for another 6 years on top of what they do. So, close enough for government work. Yeah, I mean, safe to say it's in the low teens, right? Low teens where being a doc is more profitable. But after that, it grows pretty fast, right? The difference expands quickly, but still. The fact that, you're like, you're in your late 30s by the time you catch up is a little, dissatisfying, I'll say. Have I ever been approached by pharma to use certain medications? No, that's, sort of strongly discouraged. I'm not going to use the word illegal, but there have been a lot of regulations placed on what reps can and can't do. I missed that boat by, I think, like 5 years or so, where reps were, like, buying doctors' dinners and trips and shit, like, all the time. Where do I want this point to go? None of this is really helpful for me. Melee leech, throwing leech. Maybe I want some leech. It's probably a good idea. If I was invited, would I speak at a med school graduation? I don't think I would want to speak, much like Mark Twain, I don't think I would want to speak at any med school that would have me. Hey, makes 200 grand, they have 6 years on us, so 1.2. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's, your math is fairly close to mine, right? We're all just sort of spit polishing this this situation here. It's close enough. Narcotic reps at pushing narcotic lollipops. Yeah, those things were dog shit. The like 800 microgram fentanyl lollipops. I remember seeing those while I was a pharmacy tech, and I think I maybe dispensed those 4 or 5 times ever in my 3 years as a tech. Like, nobody prescribed those. They're, yeah, it's not, I don't know. I didn't have a high opinion of those. And knowing what I know now, I'm like, why not just give somebody a fentanyl patch or give them oral narcotics? Those are heavily used in the military? Really? Yeah, they're absolutely a thing. Help. I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't laugh at this. That's hilarious. Drug abuse is not funny, guys. I'm sorry. That's just too good. Oh my god. Okay. This is an intervention. But yeah. That's actually not what I... Yeah, this is actually what they look like. This as well. But yeah, it's like huge doses of fentanyl, because fentanyl doesn't really work very well orally. I mean, it does, but it's not, like, you have to have a much bigger dose. Do they have sugar? What a fucking scam. Yeah, probably. Probably so. They sent me a helpline phone number. The other ones, which one? This one? The like little tampon looking thing? This? That's what they use? Theoretically would look, I mean, they probably work really well rectally, actually. Tampon fentanyl. I mean, wouldn't recommend taking 800 mics of fentanyl up the ass. That doesn't sound like a good idea at all. I'm uncomfortable with the energy here. Yeah, well, welcome to the stream, dude. It's pain relief and you keep the airway open. Well, to a point. To a point. Airway doesn't do too much good if you're not using it.
Not happening.
Breathe in like 1 time a minute.
Not happening.
That was pretty good, man. Googling the fentanyl lollipops gives me a helpline number. Oh shit. That was quality. Tampon fentanyl comes in different doses that are color coded. Give me one of them reds, bro. Trying to get on benzos be a terrible idea. Why do you want to get on benzos? You mean like chronically for anxiety? If so, then yes, that would be a terrible idea. I think benzos are a dog shit drug for long-term use. They go to a hospital and shove a fentanyl lollipop. You're gonna have up your ass. You're gonna have a stroke. It'll be a very comfortable stroke. I mean, you could do worse. I'll apply to the weed burst. Regulation that kicked in the last year or two that made it more difficult to script long-term benzos. Is it a CMS reg? I mean, that's good, because they really are not good drugs for long-term use. They're great for acute, like, you know, anxiety or, you know, sedation or whatever, like, but they're too, like, up and down, and they're very addictive. Like, even the, quote, longer-lasting benzos, like Valium, is, I mean, it's very habit-forming. And they're not really that great for anxiety. Like, you're much better off with, like, an SSRI or an SNRI, things like that.
I understand your fear.
Only thing it's good for is to keep you from going to the ER, keep you from dying. It's just a panic attack. I mean, it's true, right? It is good for that.
Too long have we all been bound by the chains of fate. I will
Hello.
along with who would seek to bind me.
Was it just me,
Freedom
or was that
will
If
be
not
our
you? I am not
future.
sure if
Thank
I
you.
can
Must
trust this
future.
friend of yours.
Speak with
any
Zarek
cost.
soon.
I overheard you. What? You sneered corrupt.
Noble goal, blah, blah, blah.
And hey, if you're looking for little details,
Ask Zarek about the job offer?
see a little no, I said his bring me his head, of course. I'll be around.
Minus tolerance and dependence, they seem really cool. Yeah, they're basically flawless otherwise. Indication for Xanax is literally save you a trip to the ER. I mean, so Xanax is one of my least favorite drugs ever. Fucking hate Xanax. But it does have its uses, and that would be one of them. Or for like my wife is scared to fly, for instance, like pop a Xanax, go to sleep, you wake up and you're at your destination. That's great. That shit's awesome. But like the people who are on Xanax for like daily use, dude, Xanax is the worst one, because it's real short acting, and that just like hits those receptors, man. You gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. Your brain's like, give me more Xanax. Ah! Why would you use Xanax over propranolol for flight anxiety? Just to go to sleep. Like you're treating the symptom, not the problem, basically. Which for an acute situation like that is fine, in my opinion. I mean, there's little downside to it. Dude with 220 over 130 pressure? Anxiety's not going to cause your blood pressure to go that high. Unless you're like acutely having a stroke or something. Let's see. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I need to get all of my quest things here. My quest, what? Okay, so I need a bunch of passive points. So I skipped a lot of the quests here just by going through dungeons and stuff, and I'm not sure that that was ultimately a real great idea. Herod's Last Blessing. Desert Way Station. Panel only treats physical symptoms. Yeah, it's true. And it is slower, for sure. You are correct. The Ruined World. Alright, we'll go there. Why not? Oh, no, wait. That's gonna take a long time. I hate this part of the game. I'm not gonna do that one. Desert Way Station. Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
Show her the Sapphire Tablet. There we go. Got all my idle slots there. Forgot about that. Oh, so close. Double effect with recent Falcon hit. That's pretty cool. I'm like always moving.
Smile upon you.
Panic attacks are weird things, man. Like, people legitimately think they're having heart attacks. Like, you see all these... I mean, you know, the stereotypical panic attack patient is, you know, like, late 20s woman comes in with, like, anxiety issues and all that. But, you know, you have all these, like, 28-year-old women that are like, yeah, I'm just having this crushing chest pain, I can't breathe, and it's radiating my arm. They're like, well, fuck, let's get an EKG, I guess. And, like, you kind of know it's a panic attack, but you still have to treat it like it's not, right?
That was close.
I had an interesting situation with my wife, actually. This is not panic attack related, but speaking of things that you have to treat as though they're a big deal, my wife, like, when was this? This is a couple of years ago, maybe 2-3 years ago.
Not
She was like, one morning, was like, man, I just have this, like, this pain, like, kind of feels like a burning sensation in my chest, and like I can feel it in my back, and I'm thinking like, oh god, like, it's reflux. And we had this conversation, you know, I was like, it's reflux, but dude, you have to go to the hospital, you have to go to the ER. You have to rule out a PE or an aortic dissection, because you said the magic words, and so now you have to get checked out. And she did, and she was fine. It's reflux. But, you know, but like both of us were just like, like she knew this before she even said anything. She was just like, I feel this in my back. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, you have to go to the hospital. She's like, I know. You had a panic attack and reach for your stethoscope because you thought you were dying? Oh god. That's not good. Lots of EMS agencies won't bill you if they don't transport? Really? Interesting. I thought that was like a given, basically. Like if they showed up, you're paying for it. I guess I really don't know a whole lot about how EMS works now that I think about it. That's sort of like a black box to me, you know, like the people show up and then I take care of them, and like EMS is, you know, gives report, they're gone, basically. Like I even have even less interaction with them than emergency would. Transportation, not healthcare provider. EMS is expensive taxi. It's kind of true. ED docs don't understand EMS. Well, good. That makes me feel better.
Not happening.
How many passives did I need? 2. Managed to skip the Lagan fight, which is pretty nice. How often my school have mandatory events after lecture? Not often, actually, I would say. As for, ballpark frequency? Maybe once every week or two. And we were usually given, you know, we had a lot of advance notice on that. My school is actually fairly good about not having mandatory things to do, I would say. Like outside of normal, you know, like classroom learning and rotations and stuff. We had, I mean, we did do standardized patient encounters and stuff, but, you know, those were just expected. And not a secret that they were coming. However, that said, I did figure out the system, and I sat with my friends in the area where the, like, sign-in sheet always started, which was kind of like the back corner of one of the auditoriums, and so I would sign in and leave. So, my interaction with said required events was pretty minimal. Been having mandatory events 3 times a week for 2 to 3 hours? Holy shit, that sounds terrible. Yeah, I would definitely be finding a way to space out during that. Ignore the shit out of it. Pull out bar to whack a leg rest up on your exam beds, and you pulled it out and it flung it across the room. That is a very med student thing to have happen to you. Yep, it sounds right. Sorry to hear that, dude.
This is the part I can't say quickly. And that should do it.
Oh, you take step 1 on Wednesday?
This waypoint's harder
That seems
than
really
I
early.
anticipated. But no worries.
Good luck, dude.
All good now.
How do you feel? How do you feel about it? I mean, I know it's pass fail now,
Just
so it's
in
kind of
time.
like
Looks like we've
a
got
little bit
company.
less intense than it was.
Anyway, off you go. I'll see you on the other side.
Feel okay? I mean, do you feel like you're gonna pass? Like, do you feel like that's a reliable thing to, you know, that's gonna reliably happen? Take step 1 in 3 months. Better start studying. No, don't do that. I mean, if you've done it right, you've studied for it all along, right? Like, doing well in your classes is really the best thing you can do for it. At this point, like, early on. Rather have step 1 every day for a month and go to my OB rotation? Yeah, seconded. I did not care for OB. However, as I've mentioned before, I did my gyne portion of OB at the VA, which was totally awesome. Because I worked with this, like, crusty old doctor who was, like... I mean, he was crusty, for sure, but he was, like, super chill, very good teacher. The volume was low, like, case volume was low. We saw, like, 4 or 5 people a day. And, he let me do surgery. He was like, here, do this anterior-posterior repair. I'll show you how to do it. I was, like, lead surgeon on a case, and then he, like, let me do a DNC. So I'm like actually learning something, whereas my classmates were working like 70-hour weeks and just like, you know, holding a laparoscope or something. You know, just like totally wasting their time. Your test scores are saying 99% chance, so you have to trust them? Yeah. I think that's pretty good. I'm admitting OB is surgery. I mean, I'm pretty comfortable saying that. I really don't have any stock in that debate. So perhaps the surgeons in the crowd would disagree. What situations would you do at DNC besides a miscarriage? You can do that for like dysfunctional uterine bleeding and stuff, like people who have massive periods or just like inappropriate bleeding, like bleeding post-menopause. Gen surge, core rotation first, or trauma? Yeah, I mean, I would say overall it really doesn't matter all that much, but if you're thinking you want to do anesthesia, it might be kind of better to have surgery under your belt first.
Easy.
But I mean, it really is not going to make that much of a difference from like a student standpoint. Just kind of, I say that just so you're sort of familiar with the OR environment and all that. You've already gotten the shit kicked out of you and dealt with all the very like gruff, unpleasant people that work in the OR. It's a very different environment than, you know, pretty much any workplace has to offer. Everybody is extremely matter-of-fact and curt. And that's not because they're assholes, though a lot of them are. But that's just kind of like how it is. You know, like this thing needs to be done right now with no questions asked. And that attracts people who are, you know, operate well under that sort of pressure. Elective and trauma anesthesia? Huh. That's sort of a weird thing to do an elective in my opinion, because trauma anesthesia is basically just like nothing. Like, you don't do anything for trauma anesthesia. You give the patient like some sort of amnestic and then gradually turn up your anesthesia as they can tolerate it. And other than that, you just flood them with blood. And that's it. EMs are required rotation for you. Yeah, I mean that's good. I think emergency medicine should be a like core rotation for everybody. I don't know why it's not, honestly, because you just see everything, and you have to deal with it in its like acute phase. There's to me it's like in a lot of ways more fundamental than like family practice, because it's just like family practice, but you have to fix it now. Or like do something about it now. So, I don't know. Unpopular opinion, clearly, because that's not the way it is, but... Get to do where you're seeing surgery and see it from behind the curtain. You already know what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. So a big part of anesthesia is knowing the surgery, right? Like understanding the steps and what's going to happen next and how that's going to affect your patient. So if you've done the surgery part, that's really helpful. Told the program director of Hopkins that you work as a sub and he was excited. Oh, that's cool. I mean, that's a good job, dude. Like, it's a good experience. There we go. One passive point. Idle expansion. Yeah, buddy. Let's go. Why don't you give COVID vaccines for severe COVID, but we give antivenom for snake bites? So, the COVID vaccine thing is like, you don't have time to, like, your immune system doesn't have time to, like, prevent the COVID virus, right? Because the whole thing with the vaccine, it's not really a vaccine in in like a traditional sense, right? So you won't have any antibodies made, like pre-made for the virus, because you already have the virus, obviously. But yeah, antivenom is like actually binds the venom, right? Well, and I guess that differs. That depends on what the antivenom is too. It's either a competitive inhibitor or it's a like direct antagonist. Where am I going? The fuck? Desert treasure. Oh, the tomb hidden amongst the dudes. That's why it's not on my map. Got it. And yes, agree with Uranus. That's kind of what I was getting at, but... Look, we got a bunch of brainiacs in chat tonight. This is badass. You guys go. Rocket. Well, Gucci, I hope you do well, man.
Not happening.
Hope you do well. Hopefully you're in the chill out phase of studying. I know I burn out pretty hard on my step 1 studying. And my last week was pretty much just like review of like real high yield concepts, and then I just moved on with my life.
They won't forget.
Actual learning had finished probably 2 weeks before. Just need that pass, baby. Absolutely. And then you get to stress out fucking hardcore when it comes to step 2. Thanks, NRMP. What a brilliant move to make step 1 purely pass-fail. That is like the most short-sighted, just a dumbass move. Oh, man. I don't know how they possibly could have thought that was a good idea. Step 2 is way worse. I thought step 2 was a lot easier, and I did a lot better on it. But I mean, traditionally, pretty much everybody gets a higher score on step 2, right? Ah, trying to get that passive point. Bastards. Board of Osteopathic is bringing back the DO version of Step 2 CS. Oh no, why? Why would they do that? That's a terrible idea. Hello. Yeah, that sucks. C3DO. I'm pretty sure that they instituted that exam just to call it that. For 72%, you're 40% through U-World. 72 in U-World is really good, isn't it? That's like super good. Yeah, Gucci got this. Take the chat energy, man. You got this. The TO body's even more hungry than the MD. I don't know about that. Axing oral boards for emergency medicine? Replacing with an OSCE. Ah, yes. Well, see, at least they're replacing it with an OSCE. Anesthesia was just like, oh yeah, you can do oral boards and an OSCE. Average for blocks is 60% for step 2. Okay. This is not my favorite song. Let's skip that. Okay. Average blocks is 60% for steps 2, so it's a 60-ish. Okay. So does that... How well does that hold? Like, is the percent you get correct, like, the percentile, or what? I haven't looked at these statistics for a long time. That was not the case when I took it. Like, if you were getting in the mid-80s, you were, like, way into 90th percentile. Percent correct, that is. What could have caused this? Average of 70 is... Okay, I gotcha. So it does not hold well is the answer. Have to score greater than 8th percentile. Is that what they're doing? So it's... They sort of like peg it at a certain like failure rate. I think it was about the same percentage failed when I took it. Sounds right. 8 or 9%, something like that. Ah, fuck. Damn, man, I don't miss that. I don't miss all these fucking tests. So much stress and money. 4-point bonus. +1 potion slot. Do I really want that? I don't know if I want that at all, actually. Caltrops apply frailty, huh? Doesn't make sense to have a subjective number of people who fail it. Makes more sense if they have a minimum competency score and just associate that with a percentile. Yeah, I mean, I buy that. Yeah, like you need a certain percentage of these things correct to pass, instead of this like weird algorithmic score. I mean, I think that, yeah, I agree. Pass is 210? Jesus, I think pass when I took it was like 180 something, like 186 maybe? Damn. Maybe they just cranked through a bunch of stupid doctors and they're like, wow, these guys are really stupid. We gotta raise the standards. These people are all awful physicians. The Nepal situation? Yes, I have. Yeah, that's some fucked up stuff, man. It sort of sucks for the people who have, like, you know, legitimately taken those tests, but, you know, it sounds like those people are probably few and far between, so perhaps not a loss overall. Deal. Shouldn't laugh because I'll be one of those stupid doctors. Hey man, as long as you set the bar low, you're good. You're all good. Okay, I still need a passive point from somewhere. I'll let you know if I find her. Alright. Alright, we're gonna do this, because I know that this one's good to go. Ruins of Welrin. Laughing is awareness, and awareness is perception is acceptance. NB may set a precedent that they're invalidating scores. Yeah, I mean that might be. Yeah, it might help. I don't know how many applicants were there though. You know that? Because I mean I can't imagine that the match is like exactly flooded with Nepalese applicants. Residents are hesitant to take IMGs. Yeah, but I mean, I don't think IMGs really had a, you know, the upper hand anyway. The fuck? to gain entry to the Great College in Wellerin, but it's not really working out very well for me. Let's do this. India, Pakistan, and Middle East are also being investigated? Okay, yeah, I think I heard that. I heard that the investigation was ongoing. I'm not sure I heard specific countries, but, new EM residency that opened in your state? Their entire PGY1 classes medical foreign med graduates, okay. Oh, well, that sounds like emergency medicine, man. Remember, didn't they have like 500 unfilled spots last year or something? That is just a freaking slaughter. I wonder how it's gonna do this year. Be very interested to see that. So I'm actually off this week. I may stream tomorrow as well. Just to sort of see how that goes, if you guys have access to that.
Easy. Too easy.
Unfilled in match, they all filled in soap. They all filled in soap? Jesus. Well, good for them, I guess. 39k graduate from med school, and there are 40k resident seats. Okay. And I feel like I've spent just as long trying to go back through this game to get passive points as I would have if I'd just, like, gone through it normally. Instead of doing the, like, dungeon skips. Yeah, so I guess that will be interesting to see, like, if that affects placement. But do you think that the international medical grads were, like, getting the desirable positions to start with? I mean, was that really an issue? I would imagine they were mostly in the primary care things. Weird donut hole situation where the middle tier programs didn't match anyone, because the high ones took everybody from the middle, so it was more of a weird Murphy's Law situation. Interesting. That is weird. That is very weird. Huh. Well, I mean, that could sort of still happen, right? With how they have it set up. But at least, like, it'll all be, you know, American medical graduates. There we go. Nepal had an average step 1 and 2 score of 270. Okay. Like, 99.9th percentile is their average. Seems legit. That's totally cool. I mean, dude, if you're gonna cheat, like, at least make it sort of believable. You know, maybe if their average was like 230 or something, they would have flown under the radar way longer. EM's weird, there's been a larger number of IMGs. It's not IMG friendly. What is a slow SLOE? I don't know what that is. Take that crest, bitch. Standardized letter of evaluation. Oh, okay, fair enough. Oh, that's kind of interesting. You have to have that to apply to emergency programs? I did not know that. Yeah, seriously, if you're gonna cheat, I mean, I guess they got away with it. I guess they got away with the cheating for a while, but like, damn, dude, like, make it believable. Someone finished the exam so fast that it spit out an error. The dumbass sued? Oh no! 90 seconds per question, they answered it with less than 30 seconds with 90% accuracy. Dude, what an idiot. Come on, man. I mean, so I'm the type of person who, like, I know what I know and I know what I don't know pretty well when I'm taking tests. And I'm a very good, very efficient test taker. And so I'm not, you know, scoring 100% all the time. But if I run into a question that I don't know, I'm just like, nope, fuck it, move on. You know? And I read fast. Not like a speed reader or anything, but I read quickly. I interpret, like, my reading comprehension's really good. And I still take longer than 30 seconds to answer those questions. I mean, like, when I was practicing UWorld, I would take about a minute a question to, like, do the question and read the answer, like, read the explanation. So, like, on the actual test, it was, you know, it was probably 30 to 40 seconds, honestly. But not with that kind of fidelity, right? Like, I probably got, like, 70% of them right. So, in other words, I cheated the smart way. I mean, I didn't do that at all. It was really common to the point where they had a 1,000-page document of screenshots of the questions? What? Jesus. Let's see. Search the Oasis for signs of the merchant. No, don't think I'll do that. Yeah, that's crazy. But, you know, if they'd been doing it for years, right? People were memorizing exam questions and contributing to the huge test document.
What do you want?
I mean, you knew that would have to happen, right? Like, why would you not? Why would you not do that? Sad part was the NBME hardly changed questions. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, they have this huge question bank that they draw from, and you see the same questions or like a small variation of an old question all the time. QBank NBME was using was way smaller than they admitted. I bet you their question bank is 1,000 questions or less. I bet you it is quite small. Because, I mean, it is difficult to write questions of, you know, suitable quality, but there's also only so many things that you can test over, too. So, like, both of those things sort of contribute to, you know, not really being able to write a whole bunch of questions. Because I distinctly remember seeing questions from practice NBME exams that I took on step 1. Like, either, like, verbatim the same question, or something extremely close, which is weird because those are supposed to be retired questions, but obviously they weren't. What? Team Matt subscribed with Prime? Holy shit, man. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you for the sub. Anytime you want to give me Amazon's money, I am more than happy to take it. Fuck those guys. And their amazing delivery times. I forgot you had Prime. I forget I have Prime too. Like, I wonder, my parents ordered something for my kid for Christmas off of Amazon, and they don't have Prime. And we were like, oh god, what is shipping for non-Amazon Prime like? Like, does it take 10 days or 4 days or what? I have no idea. Ah, Gucci! Thanks, man. Thank you too. Hype train incoming. The fuck is that? It's 4 days. I mean, that's not too bad. See, I'm pretty spoiled because we actually have 3 Amazon distribution centers, like, in the Kansas City area, basically. I think they're all, like, right outside of town. But I've had things delivered the same day on numerous occasions. Like, within hours. It's kind of insane. Why do you have your own emotes? Now you subscribed. You're good. don't have Prime or Amazon, and you know, and I nor Amazon know when your package will be delivered. Yeah, I don't know about the emotes. Check my Discord pings. I will do that. I will do that in a private screen, just in case. Boop. There we go. Wait, what? Okay. Let's try again. What is this? Latika Giri. Oh, dude, is this the person that, like, sued them? Oh, no. How stupid do you have to be? Let's see. Where's the... Oh, this is a bunch of... What? This is ridiculous. Each circle represents... Okay, this is great. Med school country performance. Each circle represents the average score of medical school attendees within a country. Like, dude, how is this even remotely believable? eBay ships fast as fuck to get your PC. Yeah, eBay does ship very quickly. I agree. Red circles performance of Nepalese people. Come on, man. I'm curious what, like, this country is. Like, what are these countries that are doing so well on step 3 than on step 1? Like, maybe these are the Indias and Pakistans and stuff? Totally subtle, exactly. Like, average is 220, and this one's 240. Yeah, probably the other cheating ones, probably so. At least some of them. Damn, dude. That is ridiculous. I don't know how it took him so long. Yeah, exactly. You have this, like, massive outlier. It's interesting. Like, so if they have access to this, like, clearly they can bin country performance because they've done it. So, yeah, I wonder why that that took so long to realize and act on. It seems pretty freaking obvious, right? Huh. Well. Open filter folder. I'll take that. How do I do that? Clipboard does not have a valid loot filtered import. Great. Let's try that. Cool, we'll take that. Sweet. Someone has that document. The Nepalese thing. Nice. Takes the validity of the exam into question. They acknowledge a particular group was scoring way higher without evidence of cheating. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Part of the analysis was not the likelihood of X number of test takers getting the same questions right, Oh, are they all getting the same questions right? Interesting. Likelihood of the same test takers getting the same questions wrong, yeah. Yeah, if everybody, like, has the same exam, that's obviously very suspicious. But yeah, I agree with Matt that if you're just like, oh yeah, all the people in Nepal they're just really good at this test. Like, what? Hell. If everyone's memorizing the same document, they're gonna get the same questions wrong. Yeah, right. Yeah, like, obviously that's very suspect. Yeah, I'm curious how long they've done that, that sort of analysis, like the country-by-country analysis, or if they've never done that before, right? Like, so they have those data. Again, obviously, they've parsed them in that document we were just looking at. So, like, I wonder if they did that previously. Or if they're just kind of like, yeah, whatever, people are taking our test. Great. Let's move on with our lives. You know, and not really paying attention to it. Incorrect answer on their document, they'd all get it wrong. Yeah, true. Yeah, so you have this, like, not only are these people, like, doing exceptionally well, they're all, like, writing the same exam, basically, right? Country with the lowest IQ is Nepal. Well, they're certainly not very good at cheating. Whatever IQ they have, they're not applying it towards deception in a very useful fashion. Ooh, that's a lot of gold. What are those? Okay. Stat a while ago that Denmark had the happiest population out of every country, but the highest antidepressant usage. That's great. So all of the, like, far north, like, countries have really high depression rates, right? Because of it, like, seasonal depression. Isn't that the case? Like, because it's just, like, dark all winter. You have, like, a couple hours of daylight tops. Ad for Zoloft. We're super happy. We take so much Zoloft. It's amazing. Yeah, I think that's kind of an interesting, interesting phenomenon. Like, I saw one of my friends went to Iceland, and I think they did some, like, weird backpacking thing into, like, the northern reaches of the country. And they set out a time-lapse camera, and, like, you just see the sun go around in a circle, basically, as the day goes on. It's pretty cool. I mean, it sounds terrible, though, because it's, like, freaking bright out at midnight, but... Get in there. Zoloft made you balloon 50 pounds? Wow. I didn't know Zoloft was one that was particularly associated with weight gain, but evidently it is. Strong placebo. Lexapro made you gain 50 pounds. Damn. Y'all not having too much luck with your SSRIs, are you? You lost it after you started Adderall. All you had to do was start an amphetamine and you lost all the weight. That sounds great. Perfect. Just like fucking Elvis up in here. Just instead of uppers to go to sleep, or wake up, and downers to go to sleep, you're just a weight loss. The weight loss Elvis. There you go. Serpent's fractal tree. 1 spear per 12 decks. Huh. Area skills per 3 decks. Oh, that's kind of cool. Really well-equipped multi. Well-rolled multi. Straight up looked like you had Cushings. Dude, those damn reps and their free food. Don't they know you can't resist? Dude, I do love a good rep lunch, though, for sure. We, really the only rep that we ever see is, like, occasionally we see, like, supply reps, but the only drug rep that we see on the reg is for Sugamidex. And she came in last week? 2 weeks ago. And I was just kind of shooting the shit with her. And Sugamidex, in case you're unaware, it's a drug that binds the paralytic we use. So it, like, reverses it instantly. Whereas what we used to use was a competitive antagonist, is neostigmine. And it is revolutionary. It is fucking amazing. And the drug sells itself. So I was like, dude, you have a really great job. Like, you don't really have to convince anybody to use your product at all. And she's like, yeah, it's pretty awesome. She's like, that's it. She's like, yeah, it's great. Fire damage, throwing damage, huh? Yeah, maybe I'll pick that up. Alright, where's that throw? Oh shit, I can't use it because I'm such a low level. Son of bitch. What? You've been to Sugamidex lunch twice. Nice. That's the way to do it, man. Drug rep that was repping sprayed dried plasma? What? For what? What is that supposed to do? I'm so confused. I mean, that's kind of, I mean, it sounds cool. Shelf-stable plasma product with all the factors, but it's powdered, so you reconstitute it. Oh, well, that's fancy. Is it expensive to make? That would be my concern, is that it's, like, really, really, not cost-effective. But, I mean, I guess if you can store it, you know, for long periods of time, that mitigates a lot of cost. I mean, that's super cool, though. If you can just, like, keep packs of plasma, like, hanging out, and just reconstitute it whenever you need it. That'd be awesome. I wonder what the shelf life is. Probably, I bet you it's probably not all that long, to be honest. Even freeze-dried like that. I don't know if it's just plasma though. Maybe there's nothing really to degrade. No cells. It's not. It's like it's acellular. So I don't know. Pending FDA approval. Oh, okay. Well, I would be very interested in seeing how that pans out. 'Cause that could be potentially really nice for like. So like my hospital in particular would really be able to use stuff like that. Like remote locations would be freaking awesome. So it's less of an issue for bigger, like, trauma centers and stuff who, like, use their supply of blood products routinely. I mean, we don't give blood very often, to be honest. I'd say somebody gets blood in the OR maybe every 2 days. You know, maybe, like, 3 times a week or something. And usually it's just, like, a unit of blood. So if we could have that on hand for, you know, a couple months instead of having to like waste the FFP that we have. The FFP is fresh frozen plasma. That'd be great. So yeah, I see like small and like community hospitals really wanting that product. That would be really cool. TXA spray. Yeah, but I mean that's a medication though, right? That's a little bit different. Inspiration with void skills, don't care. Alright, let's see this. Velico. Frontline ODP? Why do I feel like I've heard of this? Global concern, targeted by trauma surgeons, emergency, yeah, blah blah blah. Spray dried plasma, ready for rehydration. New methods of blood product distribution throughout the EMT community. I guess, yeah, this would be nice for EMTs too, right? Though, I don't know, the case where you would give plasma and not blood in the field seems pretty rare to me. Like, there's not a whole lot of situations where you'd actually do that in. Are you on payroll? You're certainly selling it pretty effectively, so maybe you should be. Maybe you should contact Velico and be like, hey man, I know this anesthesiologist. He's gonna buy your shit. Maybe you should pay me. Whole blood's harder to keep in EMS because of storage. Yeah, for sure. This is just plasma though, right? This is just a FFP equivalent. Might be used more frequently if they can use it mobile. Yeah, it would. But like I said, the situations where you just need FFP and not blood are not frequently found. Yeah, I see this as much more like it's kind of a cool thing to just like carry in an ambulance, right? Like just in case, like you can have a couple packs of this kicking around. Like why not? Probably doesn't take up much space at all. Because even a unit of FFP is like, it's like 250 mils. You know, it's pretty small. So if it's freeze dried, it's probably fits in a little vial. FFP is better than NS. Yeah, but I mean, you also have risk for transfusion reactions and stuff like that. I mean, with FFP, that's pretty unlikely, but it does happen. Whereas in S, obviously, you can't have a reaction to that. When would you only need FFP besides warfarin reversal? Like liver failure, people who have already had a lot of blood and their factors are all out of whack, so they basically like need the, you know, clotting factors and stuff that FFP brings with it. But yeah, warfarin reversal's a big one. Bit on reconstituting it. Here, I'll just get the one that you linked. Log in with Google. No. Oh, hang on. Well, how long is this? Now it's a couple minutes. Yeah, I'm not sure my attention span is that long right now. Asian Bod, what's up, dude? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you, man. We're watching people reconstitute dried plasma. Isn't that fascinating? See some weird shit in this stream, man. I was just watching heart surgery. Speaking of watching weird shit, I was watching heart surgery with my 7-year-old and walking him through it. Showing him all the parts of it. He is a strange kid. probably better than the alternative of just saline. Yeah, I mean, yeah, probably. Alright, so she put it in their bag. So I guess that's the bag that it comes in. It comes in a rather large thing. Strong but brief shake. Undulating figure 8 motion. Yeah, you better make sure all that shit's dissolved or you're gonna be killing some people. Lunch lady build. Well, I have to say that so far I'm not real impressed with the expediency of this. I mean, like, if I want to give somebody FFP, it better get there pretty quick. It's just undulating from here. Well, okay, so she's mixing this shit for like 2 minutes. That's actually a pretty long time. I mean, I guess it's better than nothing, and it's a cool, you know, like, novel thing to have around, but... Huh. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Have to think about whether that's something that would get, like, normal operating room use. Maybe if they, like, reconstitute it in the lab before, like, they just keep those in the lab and they reconstitute it there and then send it to you. That's probably what would have to happen. That would probably be pretty good. Looks like a whole lot of pee. It is pee, actually. Did you know that pee is a resuscitation fluid? Just pump that shit right back into you. It'd be right as rain. Bleed out? Not on my watch. We've got pee. Patient dead. A video of med students watching a C-section. They were traumatized? What the fuck, really? I mean, a C-section's pretty intense shit. It's really kind of crazy. But... why is that? There we go. Fresh frozen platelets? Yeah, you don't want to freeze platelets. That's not a good idea. They don't like that very much. Frozen platelet, no work. So bloody. Fuck off, Mercurian. Second month of clerkship, you scrubbed in the C-section, it was nausea-inducing. Yeah, it's kind of, it's a weird experience, for sure. I remember one of my friends, she passed out. She was in I think she was in a family practice clinic, and they were doing like a, you know, like lancing some huge abscess or something, and she passed out. All the med student pass out stories are classic. One of my good friends, actually, a good friend of mine who is now a urologist, oddly enough, so he's a surgeon, but in his first surgery rotation, I don't think this was from like being grossed out or anything, or getting vagal. But he hadn't eaten for like 12 hours, and he passed out during his surgery and like basically face planted into a metal machine and like broke his jaw, busted out a couple teeth. He was fucked up, man. We gave him a lot of crap for that. But yeah, now he's a surgeon. Go figure.
Not happening.
Need a shower and multiple therapy sessions?
That was close.
Are benzos used together with other benzos? No. No, the solution to benzos is just more benzos. Like, if you need benzos, you just get more benzos. I mean, sometimes, so I mentioned earlier in the stream, like, we use midazolam a lot first ed. And so, if somebody's just, like, acting a fool in the recovery room or something, and I want to chill them out for longer, I'll use Ativan. Which is lorazepam. But Other than that, like, you don't really mix and match much. And I think a lot of people probably wouldn't even bother doing that, honestly.
Too easy.
Fainted watching instructional video during the phlebotomy. Not gonna lie, we had to practice phlebotomy on each other, and my roommate had to dig in my veins a little bit, and I was getting a little cold and clammy when he was doing it. I think that was our second year med school, maybe
Too
third.
easy.
We had to drop blood on each other and like do our labs. It's actually kind of cool. There were a few people in our class that found out they had like diabetes or like other conditions. Kind of weird. You too can know that your classmate has diabetes. Could exempt from the skills lab you're certified to do. Yeah, we had a couple people who were like, you know, previous phlebotomists or EMS or something, and they were the ones like walking around helping people do stuff. So I guess in a sense they were exempt from it. He gave up food for the blade. Yeah. I missed that comment. That was great. One of your buddies had pre-torsion, so he had like a half-twisted ball, and he fainted towards during the testicular exam. Oh no. Apparently, so interesting. Yeah, this is the TMI portion of the stream. So I had planned. I got a vasectomy. What? October? No, a year ago, October. So like a year and a half ago. And I had planned on just like driving myself home because that shit doesn't bother me at all. And the urologist was like, yeah, I'm not doing this if you don't have somebody to drive you. And he was saying like people get really vagal. It's just like a thing. And sure shit, like I didn't feel like I was nervous or I had no problems, but dude, when I stood up, my whole shirt was just soaked in sweat after the procedure. And it was fine. Like, nothing bad happened. It went totally fine. I was just like talking and like joking with him the whole time and like, nope, vagaled like a motherfucker. Didn't even know it. So he's like, yeah, you have to have somebody drive you. Like, okay. Getting dextrose and the nurse poked you like 12 times? Yeah, sometimes that happens, unfortunately. There are some people who aren't super good at their jobs in all areas of life. That's really all I can say. I don't even know where this fucker is. There he is. You can fake during blood draws. Your own blood draws or when you draw somebody else's blood? Because the latter's probably going to be a bit of a problem if you want to do anesthesia. Your heart rate monitor beeping so loud each time? Yeah, probably so. Yeah, after people like start missing your veins a whole bunch of times, that's like... that's very stress-inducing. What is this music fluting hard? I don't know, dude. It is... well, this song is called Pudding by Harris Heller, apparently. Just a free mix that won't get me sued or copyright struck. Yeah, a lot of people can't handle the needle. I gave myself food poisoning one time because I'm an idiot. I was on call in residency like 4 times, like every other day, basically for 9 days. So I was like on call, post call, then on call, then post call, then on call. And I ate some lamb in my fridge that was like 10 days old. I didn't know it. It's like my sense of time was just like so fucked up from having got my ass kicked for, you know, 9 days. But I tried to start an IV on myself, and I just, like, could not do it. I could not get past that wall of, like, stabbing myself. Did an A-line on a dummy? Yay! Whee! I feel like dummies, for some things like that, like vascular access, sometimes the dummies are harder. Because they're, like, the tissue is so much different than, like, people. I mean, obviously there's more variance in people, but like sometimes when it's just like rubber, it's kind of hard to feel exactly what you're supposed to be feeling, and like, you know, getting those sort of satisfying like landmark feels, and I don't know. I think it adds a level of complication that's maybe not necessarily welcome for beginners. I don't know. Maybe it's good for kind of learning the steps of the procedure, I guess, but as far as, like, getting a feel for it, I don't know how useful the sim lab is. In-title tubing? Huh. Alright. It's hard to find the pulse in the dummy. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, venipuncture. I've never. I wouldn't say that I've ever seen a good venipuncture model. I know the internal medicine residents that I trained with, like, they just had like a block that had like holes through it. It was just like a gel block they stuck with an IV. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not convinced that that was a valuable exercise. Your mom practicing on meat for injections with soy sauce? It's hilarious. So she's like tenderizing dinner and practicing her life skills all at the same time. Create a delicious marinade with this IV. Gel blocks for ultrasound guided IVs? That seems like that might be a little more useful. Shit, where do I want to put points? I guess keep up with the leech. That is a really good note. I will keep opening. Laughing at the medicine interns doing sim because they did the worst intubation ever. You going to Japan and China after step? That's awesome, dude. For how long? That is super cool. I would love to go to both of those places. However, I hear China is very difficult if you don't speak the language, because nobody speaks English. I had two friends in med school who went to China, and one of them was born in China, so he's like ethnic Chinese. And the other guy is just, you know, typical Arkansas white guy. And he's like, that was a very lonely 2 weeks. Like, he didn't understand anybody. Same with Japan? Really? Nobody in Japan speaks English? That's surprising. I figured Japan would be, like, lots of English speakers. At least, like, on a communicative level. Bought a one-way ticket to Japan. Oh. Well, I mean, I guess we know where you're gonna be if you don't pass step 1. So is that the determinant? If you pass, you get the return ticket. If not, you're just in Japan forever. I mean, that's a pretty good escape plan, dude. Not bad. So you're going with somebody who speaks. That's really helpful. Good thing I don't have to go anywhere. It is a good thing. Yeah, engineering is awesome. I sometimes wish I'd gone into engineering. I really enjoyed physics. Oh, where's that amulet? There it is. Get in there, you silly guy. We're gonna craft that up real quick. Knew just enough Japanese to realize someone was trying to sell you services. Well, that could have been really awkward if you didn't make that catch. Suffixes. I want... Ooh, do I want health? I was gonna get bleed chance. Oh, but I guess bleed chance doesn't exist, so health it is. Perfect! Boop, boop, boop. Oh, this needs to be... What do I want to do here? Asia 2 or while you're off med school and decided to study for step 2 and make money? Yeah, I mean, step 2 is sort of tough to ignore these days, unfortunately. I think I probably would have done what you did too. Not much being sold on the streets at 2 a.m. True. True. You know, I think I'm just gonna go with health. Oh, I have to be level 60 to forge it. Of course I do. Perfect. Have a new PC and some spending money? Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty solid trade-off. That's a gift that keeps on giving. I do like travel, but I also like stuff. A lot. Deal more damage. Altrix damage, 10% per point. I like stuff a little too much. Well, you know, you're heading towards a career where you're gonna be able to afford whatever the fuck you want, basically, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. I think you're gonna be just fine. I'm illiterate and also don't think your OS supports that character. Oh. Y'all are typing fancy shit and... We don't do that non-English here. Summer break in high school, instead of having fun, you go work in construction. Yeah, I mean, there's value in that, right? Make some money, build some muscle, learn some shit, how to build things. I never did that. I'm gonna be buying so much shit I definitely don't need. I am staring at a custom display case full of extremely expensive toy soldiers. So, I can relate. I can relate to that. Yeah, I know all about buying things that you don't need. I'm there. Absolutely there. Oops, I should probably not stand still in this map. I fucked your back. Oh no! No construction job, no! You want a BMW? I thought you were aiming higher than BMWs. Aren't you the Porsche fan in here? Goal in life is to have the original Nintendo with physical copies of Pokemon. That's gonna be expensive. Those games are not cheap, my man. I saw at Comic-Con, actually, a vendor who sold those things at auction. He had, like, lots of... they had comic books, and they also had old, like, Nintendo games. Like, they had an original Mario, still in shrink wrap in a box. Sonic. I think they had, like, a couple Pokemon games. I don't know if they were, like, rare or what, but they were, like, a couple $1,000s. I just want a Subaru. Are you a lesbian? This is an equal opportunity stream, okay? We accept vagrants and degenerates of all kinds. No questions asked. Need the original Pokemon games like Game Boy and Color, but you have the advanced copies? Most of the DS copies? Yeah, cool. CRV hybrid? A sensible man. I drive an Accord hybrid. I probably will for the rest of my life. I'm not, like, I appreciate a nice car, but I don't care. I don't care enough to spend a ton of money on one. Still haven't owned a car. Well, they're sort of a money pit, so I don't know that you're missing out on that much, dude. If you can get around without one, more power to you. I didn't have a car for like 3 years in college because there was a bus system that took you everywhere. So I just rode the bus constantly because I didn't want to fuck with my car. But then I had, like, my senior year, I had to, you know, start doing, like, interviews and, like, I was driving to and from school a little bit. Like, a couple times to, like, move stuff out. So I had to get it my senior year. I was not thrilled. I did not want my car there. Me and your electric scooter or bike. I mean, nothing wrong with that, man. Those things are efficient as fuck. They get you from point A to point B. I always think it's funny when I see somebody with, like, a supercar running around the city. I'm like, man, you go from 0 to 40 really fast. Congratulations. That was an excellent use of money. You walk 2 hours to school? Well, that's a little more hardcore than I would, I would venture to do. I would at least, like, ride your bike or something, assuming you can. I'd buy 10 Miatas. One for each day of the week, plus a rotation, huh? You'd have to get them all painted constantly. Get them, like, or wrapped. Get, like, custom graphics on them. So you can have 3 in the shop at any given time. Now you're thinking. It's brilliant. There we go. Oop. Fiat owns Alpha and Maserati? Really? I didn't know that. Huh. Learn something every day. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. The bus was there for 2.5 bucks to come back. And your lunch money's 5? Yeah, so $10 a day, it adds up, right? Spend that money on some... Oh yeah, dude, expensive cars are... That's not for me, man. I can think of a lot of things that I would rather have for $150,000. 4K for your gaming PC? Hell yeah. That is a boss machine right there, man. Nice work. "7 years of walking and not eating lunch." Worth it. Totally worth it. It has to feel amazing when you get on that PC and you're like eating a sandwich at the same time. You're like, this is fucking awesome. I get to eat lunch now. Hell yeah. Alright, dudes. Well, on that note, I got to go. I've probably been on later than I should be because I'm gonna wake up at 5 in the morning, just like I do every morning, thanks to my 1.5-year-old. It's great. What is this? Here, we'll open this link first. 14 companies control the entire auto industry. Oh shit. Volkswagen owns a Lamborghini and Porsche? What? And Audi? I didn't know that. I had no idea. Damn. crazy. Very interesting. Well, those damn Germans. They just own everything. Bentley, yeah, Bentleys I think are very unreliable. One of my partners had one, and it was like a huge pain in the ass. And he had to take it. There's no dealer in Kansas City apparently, so he had to take it to St. Louis to get an oil change, and it cost him like $2,000 to change his freaking oil. It's insane. Plus a trip. Like just the oil change was $2,000 plus the trip to St. Louis. Fuck that, man. Sounds god awful. BMW owning Rolls Royce. Oh no. That is not ideal, is it? How the mighty have fallen. Alright, I gotta go. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Maybe we can talk matchy. Alright. I'll see you later. Have a great night.